Ryan back to receive, and here we go. Short kick taken by Kelly, the up man, across the 10, hit before the 20, and then muscles his way out to the 22, and that's where the Redskins will start this game on offense. They'll run it. Kelly get a flag on the first play. Kelly's got 3. Well, we'll check on the penalty. Michael Bennett, I think, jumped off sides here.
That's something to keep an eye on throughout this game, because that's what Seattle
Offside.
does.
Defense, number 72. 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
First down at 5. They'll run it again. Kelly over the right side. And he's going to pick up a short game. Redskins aren't exactly a big-time running team. Cousins firing, and he's got a first down. That's Brian Quick, the longtime Ram who makes just his second catch of the year. He's only active today because there is Cousins. They'll run it again. Kelly just nowhere to go. Clark, Wilhoit, and everybody else. And he's going to lose a yard on that play. So on second down. Cousins lets it fly, far side, tipped, and incomplete. That was up there for a country minute. On third down, Cousins has time, lost it for Vernon Davis, incomplete. Pretty good coverage over there by Bradley McDougall, who's... Here comes a punt, look at it, almost a block, and there was a piece, as a matter of fact. That's why there's no penalty, because Nico Thorpe got a piece of it, but Way somehow got the punt away.
To cover downfield.
A dropped snap, but Wilson recovers on Seattle's first offensive play. 3-man rush. Wilson has a lot of time. Looking to rush, floats it near far side, I should say. He's got Baldwin for a short gain. But he's starting number 23, the longtime vet. Third down, Wilson gonna run. Wilson sprinting. He's got a first, but hang on, there's a penalty flag back near the line of scrimmage.
So we've got a
offense, number 75, 10-yard penalty. Replay third down.
So that's why they got Dwayne Brown.
Russell in trouble. Wilson going to float it, and it's incomplete. Good series by the Redskins defense.
The rule, and he said if they're within 16 yards, fair catch it. Let's see if he follows that rule.
Good kick. And he's not following it, but he gets belted. It's Nico Thorpe with his second spectacular special teams play. Practice this week, thought they were getting him back from a knee injury. He, in fact, is not out there. So Catalina's at right guard, and we've got a big run by Pirine. On second down is Pirine. Not much, maybe a yard. I think the only... On third down, Cousins. Looking, firing, completing. It's Vernon Davis. Good throw by Cousins, and a first down for Washington after...
They gave Kirk Cousins all the time he needed.
They will run it. It's fumbled. Ball is loose. And the Seahawks recover. 10 fumbles for Washington. And here's Eddie Lacy running behind that left side, that new left side. On second down, Lacy again left side, and Preston Smith was in there. Third and 7. Wilson in trouble. Wilson hit as he throws. Is it incomplete or is it a fumble? Looks like incomplete. A heck of a job, especially after the fumble in their own territory. Ryan will try and pin them down inside the 20, maybe inside the 10, and he'll do just that. Down at the 6. But it... Blitz. Cousins in trouble. Buried. Bobby Wagner for 2.
They like to come after you. They've got them backed up, and they sent everyone at Kirk Cousins. It became a game of cat and mouse. Jay Gruden, as the play caller, said, I can't run against this stacked front.
Safety. Of course, after that, the Redskins will free kick it from the 20, and they do just that. This is Lockett. And Lockett's taken down at 30. Pretty good coverage. In that bunch, they're going to run away from it with Lacy, who almost gets stripped but held on and fights forward for a few yards.
21 forced fumbles here in Washington.
Fake to Lacey. Wilson looking deep, not there. On the run, throws, completes. Lacey's got it. And he's got a Seattle first down. It was a 14-yard gain. Fake to Lacey again. All day. Wilson low, not going deep. He's got it. Baldwin. Blitz coming. Wilson sees it coming near side for Rocket. Almost.
And Norman won that battle.
Lacey. Eddie Lacey. Well, true to their word, Seahawks are giving Eddie Lacey a real look here today. 3rd and 7. 4-man rush. Wilson dancing. Just going to throw it. End zone. Who's there? Running out of room that time was Lockett. So now Blair Walsh has had a good year. The former Viking, 12 of 13. This is a 44-yarder. And it's no good. So his second miss of the year, and that one wasn't even close. So 2-0, Seattle leads. Here's Cousin on the play fake. In trouble. Down he goes. Jaron Reed came in. So did Nazir Jones. Thompson in the backfield in the game now for Washington. Cousins finds him, their leading receiver, and he's tackled immediately at the 30.
All right. Illegal substitution. Offensive huddle. It's a 5-yard penalty. Replay 3rd down.
Now it's 3rd and longer. 3rd and 18. They're going to set it up to Thompson. Oh my! Bobby Wagner. Way gets this one away clean. Long but returnable kick. Lockett has some room across the 40. Still going. And it's Lockett out to the 45. Good return.
Number 3 up there in the Pacific Northwest.
At least in this sport. And a run. Lacey, nimble, dancing. And Eddie Lacey's got himself an 8-yard run.
677.
Huddle. It's a 5-yard penalty. It's 2nd down.
So we have our second too many men in the huddle penalty in the first quarter, which is kind of strange. 2nd and 7. They'll run it again. Lacey up the middle. There clearly is a commitment to try to get Eddie Lacey going today. Pete Carroll said it. Need to get to the 45. Blitz throw, and it's intercepted. It is picked up by Kendall Fuller. Fuller has some blocks into Seattle territory.
29 and white. Look at him. Just puts his foot in the ground and goes and gets it and meets Doug Baldwin at the spot. Now, will he be down by contact since he collided with Baldwin after the catch? That has to be reviewed on this play. But what a move by Kendall Fuller, trusting his eyes.
Fuller has control. If there's any contact between the two players, that would put him down.
The ruling on the field has changed. There is an interception. However, the intercepting player was down by contact at the Washington 43-yard line. It'll be Washington's ball, 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line. Game clock operator, please put 26 seconds on the game clock. 26.
Team, thank you. So, turnover for the Redskins, and here they go. Good field position on their own 43. They'll run it to Rob Kelly for a short gain. Sherman came up to make the hit, and they've got themselves a 2nd down. Cousins has time, lets it fly. Sherman almost had it. In fact, he should have had it, but it's incomplete. On 3rd down and long for the Redskins. 4-man rush. Cousins sees it, lets it fly. Incomplete. He had Thompson. He just led him too far, and now a punt is coming. Here's the punt by way. High, wobbly, and out of bounds, a little short. Thomas Rawls in the game now, but they'll throw it. Wilson in trouble, and boy, he almost got that pick. Tried to throw it away, but not enough. We'll see how that affects the run game. Wilson blitz again, throwing near side for Darboh. Here comes 2 penalty flags. They're going to get Breeland.
Pass interference. Defense, number 26. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic 1st down.
Seahawks bring in an extra lineman here as Matt Tobin checks into the game. Here's McKissick who gets the carry. J.D. McKissick out to the 45.
He came in with 103 straight regular season starts.
Seattle will run it to Rawls, who makes the first man miss, and Rawls is at a yard shy of a first down.
The hammer is going to be still the rest of the game. Can Thomas Rawls fill the breach?
Find out. Third and short. Rawls has it. So they bring in the extra lineman again, and Rawls picks up the first down. They'll fake the run. Wilson and the flat has a completion out there to Lieutenant Graham, who got bent back awkwardly, and there's a penalty.
Up front,
yeah.
It might have been a face mask up front as well as the horse collar in the back.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Defense, number 24 with a horse collar tackle. 15 yards is added to the end of the play. First down.
Yeah, looking at it the second time.
On 1st and 10, they will run it. Rawls, Thomas Rawls into the open field. He's got 11, and a Seattle first down, and it's getting chippy down there. Wilson firing quickly. Darbo, the rookie, has got a penalty flies. Darbo inside the 10, but we have to see.
Interference. Offense, number 38. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Four-man rush. Wilson slings it and almost intercepted. What a break on the ball by Breland. On second down. Wilson pressured again, rolling. We got a penalty flag. Wilson just kind of flips it out to Rawls, who was tackled near the original line of scrimmage, but this one's coming back.
The umpire threw that flag from behind the line of scrimmage.
Holding. Offense number 75. 10-yard penalty. Replay second down.
It's an Ode Ibushi. Now with a couple penalties, it's 2nd and 30. Coming near side, Richardson has his catch, his first, gets a block, and then steps out of bounds. So Richardson, who had a 100-yard game last week, consider this. They've got to get inside the 5 for a first down. It's a long way to go. Wilson's going to get over the middle. Baldwin's got it. And here comes the sea of Redskins, and that's that. So down to the 21. A 39-yard try for Walsh. Ryan the holder. And that one is going to go wide as well.
Have some people here trying out on Monday.
Man, oh man. So here's Kirk Cousins trying to get the offense for Washington going. He has time. He's going to take off and run. And Cousins going to work his way out to the 33. Terrell Pryor in the game, top of your screen. They're going to run. Kelly reverses field. Nice move by Kelly just to get anything, but not much.
See if Kirk Cousins can use his legs against their pressure if necessary.
Four-man rush. He's got time. Throws into traffic. Somehow it's caught by Vernon Davis. Chris Thompson in the backfield now, and he's going to get a carry. Thompson, the leading rusher and a receiver on this team for a short gain. Second down. Cousins over the middle. He's got wide open. That time Davis is wide open. He's got the catch down to the 31. There's Niles Paul, who's also a good player. Fake. Cousins over the middle. Tipped. Bobby Wagner has been everywhere so far. Second down. Cousins going far side. He's got Doxson who makes the catch. Josh Doxson, only his 9th catch of the year. Here's Kelly, and he goes nowhere. Just no chance for Rob Kelly that time as Seattle bum rushed that play. 2nd and 15. Over the middle. Davis again makes a catch. It's a rebirth for Vernon Davis here in Seattle. And it'll be certainly a makeable third down coming up. He's got time over the middle. He's got a completion. It's Pryor. Terrell Pryor, who did not have a catch last week, who's been invisible for the last couple. Bergstrom in at right guard. Basically like their 4th right guard. The injuries continue. Here's Kelly up the middle on a first down. Play of this drive. Cousins firing, end zone incomplete, and a penalty. He was looking for Pryor, who was covered by Sherman. So let's see on the penalty flag.
Pass interference. Defense, number 25. That foul occurred in the end zone. Ball we placed at the 1-yard line. Automatic first down.
First and goal. Hand up. Kelly. No. 13th play of the drive. It's Kelly, and he is in. Touchdown, Washington.
Offensive line being the Hogs 2.0, Kevin. They are far from that now with the guys who are playing. But on that drive, this group got together and fashioned together an excellent drive against one of the better defenses in the league.
And now we get whistles before this extra point and a flag. What a drive that was. 13 plays.
By the kicking team. 5-yard penalty. Replay the try.
Nick Rose for the extra point. Good hold, and he puts it through.
We'll have a quarterback who hasn't blinked behind an offensive line that he doesn't know very well.
So here is Seattle, who will take a knee and start it on their own 25. For the most part, Seattle's had very good field position today. So on first down, Wilson gets out of more pressure, and it's just going to tuck and run, and Wilson's going to pick up a nice gain. They'll spot him out after a gain. Wilson is going to flush from the pocket again. We get a couple penalties, and he's going to throw it on the run deep for Baldwin. He's got it, and he's tripped up inside the 25 with 2 penalties back around the offensive line, so just hang on.
Holding. Offense, number 65. 10-yard penalty. Replay second down.
Gated his return back because he hadn't had to worry about coverage much because of the pressure up front.
That's a good point. Wilson on the fake. Here he's got a lot of time. Looking. Just going to come near side to Lockett, who has to duck for having his head taken off.
Line play, and it's working real well so far today.
And another penalty on the offensive line, it looked like, for Seattle. It's amazing. We've detailed the Dwayne Brown trade, and he's come over. It looks like he's doing just fine, but the rest of the offensive line has had a lot of struggle with penalty today.
False start. Offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty. It's still third down.
Redskins have 3 timeouts left and 1:54 to go in the half, so if they could stop, plenty of time. 3rd and 15. Wilson. He's got time, and now he's going to run and look. And now he decides to run it. Looking for a block. Shove forward. That actually might have gotten him a first down. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those two where...
Ruling on the previous play of a first down by Seattle will be reviewed. As a result of the replay review, Washington will have that timeout restored.
There's Kerrigan with the two-hander, and here comes the knee. So the knee is clearly down there, and the line to gain is about 2 yards, 2.5 yards ahead of that.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field has changed. The runner's knee was down with the ball short of the line to gain. It'll be Seattle's ball, 4th and 2 at the 33-yard line.
Yes.
So the Redskins use their first timeout. 2 left, 1:30 to go. Here's the Seahawks punt. Paul says let it be, and he does. And they will take it over. Cousins. Time. Floats it away. No one open there. 2nd down and 10. Pressure, Cousins in trouble. Down he goes. He got dropped by the ageless one, Dwight Freeney.
No play coverage.
They'll hand it off to Thompson. Makes a man miss. Thompson is dancing around, making moves. Thompson still on his feet, spinning. What a run by Thompson. If nothing else, it killed a lot of clock. Here is Way. Good kick. Deep. From the 20, a bobble. Lockett. Across the 30, and then Compton puts him down at the 32.
Yes.
They all are. Eagles are the best team in the league right now. And another penalty on Seattle offensively.
Right. False start. Offense, number 88. 5-yard penalty. It's still first down.
On the defensive side.
But they've got 9 in this first half. That's a ton. Wilson to throw it. Wilson to throw it deep. Looking for Baldwin. Incomplete. He threw a jump ball, but Swearinger had been a real bugaboo for the Redskins. See if they can change that here. Wilson. A lot of time going deep again. Got him, man. What a catch. Doug Baldwin, both feet in.
T.Y. is so trusted.
Gain of 20. Blitz coming. Wilson sees it. In trouble. Throws on the run. Incomplete. Zach Brown, who's got tremendous speed on the blitz.
Make it difficult for Russell Wilson to step up and throw the ball from the pocket.
Wilson steps up. He's going to run with a fake. Wilson sliding down for what should be a first down, but the clock is ticking here. This year is 49 yards. Got to get to the 31-yard line for that. Wilson, first down, time at issue, in trouble, can't get sacked, throws it up, incomplete. Had to get rid of it. They've got no timeouts. Wilson looking that way, goes over the middle. It's Tanner McAvoy, just his second catch of the year. They've got to hurry up and spike it, though. No timeouts. Seconds. Got to get to the line. 5 seconds. Wilson will spike it with 3 seconds left.
Really nice mechanics, though, from Seattle.
Snap and hold are good. The kick is hooking, and it's wide left again. You can understand why.
Trying to get his mechanics right. And it's really not the number of kicks, it's whether or not he figured out what was pulling everything left.
And so here we go. Third quarter, Russell Wilson and company with Rawls in the backfield. We'll give it to Thomas Rawls. 7 penalties on their offense alone. Hand off again. Rawls near side. And he is stuffed. Down to the sidelines with Pam Oliver.
They actually pressed the running game a little bit more because the pass rush has affected them.
Wilson, more pressure. Steps back off his back foot down to seam. No.
The jump ball. It was a hope ball. It wasn't a real pass.
And he'll stay there to return the punt. Tore his ACL up last year in week 3. Low kick. Chance to return it. D'Angelo Hall. And he'll get a few for being shoved out of bounds. Terrific one. 13 plays. They made some big plays on it. Got a Rob Kelly touchdown run. And so here they go with a little bootleg action. And on the run, there is a pass completed to Pryor.
To take pressure off of them and create opportunities similar to that first down call we just saw.
On Kelly now. Near side across midfield.
Run some tight end routes as well.
They'll fake it here. Pressure coming. Cousins gets decked. Completes to Grant. What a throw. And a penalty too.
Kirk Cousins in the pocket.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense, number 90. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the play. First down.
See where Jaron Reed's contact is. His helmet into the face mask.
So after the penalty, here come the Redskins on the 13 with a first down. Looking to add to their lead with Kelly. And he goes nowhere. Who else but Bobby Wagner? Chris Thompson in the backfield. They're going to throw it to him in the flat. And Thompson does not get much because Cam Chancellor came up and said hello.
Right here.
Cousins looks that way, now goes across the other side of the field, has a completion, but not nearly close to a first down. He gets it to Davis.
Illegal formation. Offense. Number 69 was lined up in the backfield. That penalty has been declined. Result of the play is 4th down.
Washington.
Is that all?
Is that all?
28-yarder for Rose to add to the lead, and that one is money.
In Philadelphia, this is old school football right here.
Hey, that's what you come to Seattle for, right?
Exactly.
Here is Lockett out of the end zone trying to make something happen. Turns out to be a bad decision. Today, they haven't been able to pass the ball too well because of this. Constant pressure, and Wilson going to run and take it late out of bounds, and that's going to help.
He's
There's
in
no foul
bounds.
on the play for unnecessary roughness.
That's the right call.
On the play, 2nd down.
It is absolutely the right call.
That goes down actually as Washington's first sack by Brown. Wilson on the zone read, not much. And Charles, that's the thing. Up until that play, they hadn't had it.
Flush up the middle or step up and throw the ball.
Seahawks only 1 of 8 on 3rd down so far. 4-man rush. Wilson over the middle. Grant breaks the tackle. There's a conversion and a first down for Seattle.
That play?
Told that one, yeah. That gives him a little breathing room. On the bootleg, Wilson sets pressure again by Brown. He's in trouble. Finds a man. Oh, created by Russell Wilson. 2nd and 1. Here's Rawls. Good move. And Rawls looked like he was going to have a first. Crazy that play. 3rd down. Needing a yard. Getting a yard is Seattle. They bring on an extra line. Back-to-back 3rd down conversions for Seattle. Wilson has time this time, but nobody's open. Steps up, gonna run. And Wilson gonna move on up to the 49. He's going to gain 3 yards. Pressure's been a big story for the Redskins. 2nd down. Pressure again by Brown. Wilson steps around, intercepted right into the hands of Will Compton. And the pressure by Zach Brown made it happen.
Pressure of Washington has been real today.
On the play fake, Cousins, he's got pressure. He throws incomplete. That was in the first quarter.
Kind of surprised he made it back in.
He and Kelly are both in the game. They give it to Kelly, and Kelly. Ooh, collision between teammates there. Looked like Will Hoyt and Wright. Blitz. It's picked up. Cousins lets it fly a little too far for Vernon Davis. There is Way. High kick, fair catch called for and received by Lockett. Let's be ourselves and make it run through the run game. Right now, it's about the pass game. Here's Wilson who's going to loft it deep. He's got a man. Baldwin underthrown and nearly intercepted.
To run the football, knows that they're a pass-first team, but in this game, the pass is really struggling because of the pressure of Washington.
Here's Richardson who's got the catch, and Richardson is out for a Seattle first down.
Now they seem to have all out committed to letting Russell Wilson be Russell Wilson.
Like right here, Wilson. This is his 7th rush, and it works with a good block, and he's got a first down.
The musical guest that actually went to the top of the list.
13-yard run on the last play. Wilson going to air it out, going deep. He's got a man again. Incomplete.
It was short, and it brought the defense into the play. Kendall Fuller was able to make a play on the ball.
On the offense, all 11 players were not set before the snap. That penalty has been declined, resulting in the play, the second down.
A lot easier last week to gain yardage. This week, extremely difficult.
They'll throw it again and have a completion again. This is Graham. Out to the 42. Three-man rush. Wilson gets rid of it, first down. And there's certainly a single up the middle, as you alluded to, Charles. It's Doug Baldwin. On first down, Wilson on his own read. Now he pulls it up and I think just throws it away. And we get a penalty.
And his throw may have created a penalty. So right here.
Offense number 82, blocking downfield. 10-yard penalty. Play first down.
So he's blocking downfield on it because he thinks he's got a run play called.
So another offensive penalty. 11 total penalties, and it's 1st and 20. Pressure again. Wilson's going to run it again. Why not? Good gain. Stiff arm, and Wilson out across the original line of scrimmage is going to pick up 11. He's just been running for his life, and now Dwayne Brown will join the offensive penalty onslaught.
Ball start. Offense. Number 76, 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Second down. Wilson has time. Throws, almost intercepted by Compton again. Anthony Lanier was inactive the last 5 games. With all the injuries, he's playing and playing well. Blitz. Brown again. Wilson gets rid of it, and Compton almost intercepted, but it's incomplete.
Compton off because he's unable to catch the ball.
Unnecessary roughness. Personal foul, offense number 68. A 15-yard penalty is assessed in the previous spot. The down counts. It's 4th down.
Brown has taken it and elevated it from his side.
D'Angelo Hall going to fair catch it. Now he's going to let it go. A little indecisive, but it'll just bounce at the 24. And that. Oh, high snap. Look out. Cousins recovers. Hands to Kelly, who is buried. On 2nd and 19. Cousins firing far side. He's got a completion over there to Grant. And Grant is taken down. For Kirk Cousins and company. Has time. Looking. Throwing incomplete.
Position here for them to try and move the ball.
Short kick. Lockett's got it. Takes it. Flag. And Lockett is out near midfield, but a penalty could derail this whole thing.
During the return, illegal block in the back by the return team, number 57. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Seattle keeps the ball. First down. Time out on the field for an injured player.
Let's see if they want to try and do something here to throw off Washington.
On first down, Wilson steps out of the pocket, looks to run, tucks it away, and then sliding is Wilson. On second down, they fake the run. Wilson's going to throw it out to Rawls. Wide open into Redskin territory. No one covered Thomas Rawls, and he's got a big pickup of 22. Give it to him here, running left behind Brown. And Rawls keeps on going. There's that run game you were talking about. Fake the run. Wilson fires. Complete. Over the middle. It's Jimmy Graham and a first down. Both formation. McKissick the back. Gets it. Running right. J.D. McKissick down to the 10. Second down. Wilson throwing. He's got a man wide open. It's Wilson. Touchdown. Seattle.
One and Luke Wilson. So Wilson to Wilson, extra L, touchdown.
And now in the fourth quarter, down by 2 with a field goal kicker who's missed 3 times. Play clock at 1. Get it off. Wilson throwing. No, it's intercepted, and this could go. Wilson racing to stop Swearinger. Makes a cut. Swearinger still going, a lateral. Norman, who's going to get there? Still on his feet. Another lateral. Look at this play. And finally taken down on the Redskins. That would have been a 2-point conversion for Washington if they went all the way.
Awfully similar. And the play goes against them again with the interception by Swearinger.
What that means is Washington's still up by 2 on the kick return here. 11:43 to go. Washington in front. Cousins back to throw. Gets out of the sight, but not the next. Cousins is dropped. On second down, they will run it to Thompson, who's got nowhere to go. Frank Clark was there. They have to get to the 32. 4-man rush. Cousins in trouble. Down he goes. Ball is loose in the end zone. Recovered. Waiting for a signal. Touchdown. Cousins down here.
Ruling on the previous play of a fumble recovered in the end zone by the defense will be reviewed.
They're going to look at it now. You look at the left knee, you look at the left elbow. Any body part other than a hand or a foot will put him down. He still has clear control of the football in his right arm. They should reverse this to down by contact and give Washington back the football here.
See how they can't.
After reviewing the play, the quarterback's knee was down with the ball in his hand at the 4-yard line. The ruling on the field has been changed. It'll be Washington's ball, 4th down at the 4-yard line.
Snap is good. Way gets it away. Booming, good kick, but Lockett's got room. From the 44. Breaks a tackle, and not the next couple. He stopped just shy of midfield, and now a late penalty. It'd be hard to beat yesterday's game against Oklahoma State.
Personal foul, illegal blindside block, number 32 of the return team. 15-yard penalty, Seattle's ball, first down.
Wilson to throw. Near side has a man. It's Baldwin. He's open. Jumps over a tackler. Forward goes Baldwin to the 39, where he's got a 7-yard gain. Harrogate isn't in the game right now. You see him staying on the sidelines. Haven't heard anything if he's injured or not. I haven't seen anything. Here's McKissick on the run. He's going to be shy of a first. Rawls in the game. He gets it. Rawls in trouble. Sprinting. Stiff arm. And I think he's going to be shy. What a tackle by Josh Norman. And Seattle has to punt. The Redskins defense holds again. Ryan. Hall lets it go over his head. And it goes into the end zone. And 7:45 to play. Washington with a 2-point lead. And their football on the 20. They'll run it to Rob Kelly, who gets out to the 20. On second down, the bootleg in trouble. Cousins slings it high, and it's caught. And it moves the chains and eats up some clock. Here's Kelly. Penalty flag flies.
Holding. Offense, number 85. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Time. Cousins over the middle. Gets it to Thompson, who's hit immediately by Wagner up at the 30. Four-man rush again. Cousins firing complete. Over the middle is Quick, spinning his way about 2 yards shy of a first down. Blitz. Cousins gets rid of it. Has a completion. It's Grant who dances his way into Seattle territory, and it's good for a first down. That's what Cousins is dealing with right now. Seattle D and this crowd. Pitch to Kelly, looking for some blocks, and he's across the 45 to the 44. And there's movements, and it looks like that's on Washington.
All start. Offense. Number 60. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Second down. Swinging out to Davis. Look out! Breaks the tackle. Vernon Davis still on his feet. And penalty flags fly as he's tackled a yard shy of the first.
Vernon Davis protected it and moved it
Illegal block in
downfield.
the back. Offense. Number 68.
Wow.
10-yard penalty. Replay second down.
Out for them.
There's Chris Thompson by himself up top.
On second down, Cousins in trouble. And Cousins goes down. They'll run it. Safe play. Thompson tries to get to the outside, and he gets stopped.
Make them go full long field.
May. Short kick. Lockett on the run return, and a good job by Lockett. Instead of letting that bounce, he takes it up near the 30. Down by 2 to 22. Wilson. Pressure again, gets rid of it. McKissick has it. J.D. McKissick makes a move, makes a man miss. 2. And Russell Wilson is heating up. In trouble now. Gets out of trouble. Near side. Graham! Wide open! Jimmy Graham down to the 41. First down. Late blitz is coming. Not a factor. Wilson, though, forced out, going to throw it away. Blitz came from the other side, but still got pressure, and a 2nd and 10. There's Hall way back in center field. On a second down, Wilson looks like he's going to run it. A little pump fake, and that buys him some extra yards and maybe a first down. I think he's got it. He does. From the 30. A lot of time. Wilson lets it go. He's got a man. Wide open. Baldwin. Touchdown.
Baldwin right here. See that? Norman came up to stab him or punch him at the line of scrimmage to hold him there and knock him off his route. He gave him what they call an arm over or swim move. Over the top, ran through it, and now he's free into the secondary.
Pete Carroll ran out trying to call a timeout. That was well after the play clock here.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Playing the try.
So that's a big deal.
Yes.
Play clock ran out. Seattle called it second charge timeout of the half. This is a 30-second timeout. There is no foul or delay of game.
So they got it beforehand, although I thought it was well after.
On the roll. Wilson looking, firing, dropped. In and out of the hands of Graham.
They had an excellent drive going on the last possession until penalties against themselves stopped the drive.
So Russell Wilson provides his magic again. There's a penalty flag on the 41.
Not his normal
Offside.
offensive lineman.
Number 42 of the kicking team. Washington is elected to add the 5 yards to the touchback spot. Washington's ball first down on the 30.
2 timeouts they have in their pocket. Cousins tipped, incomplete. It was tipped at the line. Second down. Freeney coming again. Cousins gets rid of it. Has a man. Quick's got it in Seattle territory. What a throw by Cousins under duress. Cousins back again, firing deep for Doxson. Diving! He's got it! Josh Doxson down at the 1.
If you might want to take. I think we're going to take a look at this one because as he's rolling over, as he crossed the goal line.
Seattle calls his third and final charge timeout of the half.
All right, so
He does a wonderful job by being right on the line and eyeing it the whole way.
Runner was down by contact inside the 1 yard line.
I guess
Following the review, the ruling on the field stands as called. To complete a catch, the runner is down by contact inside the 1 yard line. Washington's ball, first and goal.
Ryan Anderson comes in at fullback. Kelly the back. Rob Kelly going forward. Rob Kelly, touchdown! Washington leads.
Yeah, by the time the forearm hits the ground, the ball has crossed the goal line. Excellent view. Great shot.
And it's perfect.
And his ability to make big plays, if he gets a low one on the run, he may still bring it.
He's not bringing that one back. I'd be shocked. He'll take a knee. And so 59 seconds left for Russell Wilson to pull more. On first down. Wilson running right, throwing right. McKissick's got it, and he's out of bounds. He's got 5. 4-man rush. Pressure. Wilson in trouble. Reverses field. Fires across his body. First down, and Lockett gets out of bounds too. What a play.
Lockett understands his quarterback and makes himself available.
Wilson back, gonna loft it far side. Short. Nearly intercepted. He was going for Lockett, but it was underthrown, and Dunbar was there. They rush 3. Now a 4th comes. Wilson got to go over the middle. Incomplete. Behind Jimmy Graham. Wilson has time. Standing in. Fires. Complete. Richardson breaks a tackle. To the 40. And down, but they're going to run a play here. 16 seconds left. Wilson. Looking, in trouble, throws it, and his arm was coming forward. It's incomplete with 11 seconds left.
Did they call incomplete or did they call him down at that point?
Oh!
See, he's down, the knee is there. Wilson, as he goes, watch the...
Prior to the snap.
It's not the hand, because the hand is fine, it's the knee.
Review the ruling on the prior play.
See, the knee's down. The hand was fine. It didn't become forearm.
Call. Seahawks have to be ready
After
here.
reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Quarterback was down by contact. Clock will be set at 4 seconds. It will start on my signal.
See, Wilson. 1-man rush, but here comes Kerrigan. He gets away. He sets. He throws a Hail Mary to the end zone. It is incomplete. And the Redskins win it. What a game in Seattle. And it was close at the end. That's an incredible win for Washington here in Seattle to stop the Seahawks' 4-game win streak. And Kirk Cousins earned it. 3-point win for the Redskins.